So the biggest mistake that so many people make, even myself, that I always think about from time to time, is just this fear of like DMing big creators or DMing these role models that you often look up to, and the fact that you really put them on a pedestal, and the fact that you really treat them as their gods or idols. I hate when people would often do that when they actually start growing on social media because they're too big, and you're just so afraid to like text these people or like to interact with these people. And it got me to the realization that, like, honestly, bro, like, why am I putting these people on a pedestal if they're just human like us, right? They all started off social media just like how we started off social media. So I wonder, like, why am I caring about what these big creators would think of me? Why am I caring about like if this guy's gonna leave me on red or not? It's just like when you're trying to put, for a lot of guys watching this, it's basically like you're trying to put women on a pedestal, right? Like, you know, you often feel the same way where like you're trying to approach a big creator or like a big like influencers you often look up to, like a big entrepreneur you often look up to. For some reason, you really put them on a pedestal, right? Because you're so scared of what this person says about you, or like what this person would just criticize about you. Because there's often times where like, I used to actually DM some big creator. I used to try to like mass DM so many big creators about like, maybe if I ever want to pitch in my services or anything like that. And for some reason, I'm kind of somewhat scared to DM them because like just the way that they would approach me as some sort of idiot or some goofball or some dumbass. And maybe they might approach me that way, but when I think about it, like, it's okay for them to approach me that way. It's okay for them to think of me that way, because if you think about it, if you just simply just think long term what it's gonna be like, you can probably destroy them or you can just crush them in the next few years. You can be so much better than these people. So that's why I always keep asking myself, like, why are you trying to put these big creators on a pedestal? These guys with a massive social media following, like, why are you trying to put these people on a pedestal? And that's what I always keep like dissecting deeper into myself. Is like, why do I care about these people so much? Why am I obsessing about these people so much? Like, I often fantasize them like smoking a cigar and going on a yacht with them. Like, why am I fantasizing about these things? Like, why are these things in my head? And it got me to realization that, why am I putting these people on a pedestal? Why am I caring about what other people think? Why am I caring about what these big creators think of me? And that's why, for me, I gotta develop this habit of like just like unconsciously just DM every fucking person that I'm kind of scared to talk to, right? Everybody that I would often put on a pedestal, I kind of set this challenge to myself that I need to DM every single big creator I have to look up to on Instagram or like on Twitter, mostly because that's the platform I use every now and then. Why not I just DM big creators on Twitter? Even though I put these guys on a pedestal, why don't I just DM them and reach out to them and get close to them? Having the balls to DM them, because that's the biggest like mistakes or like the biggest fears of like beginner creators when they first start out on Twitter, is the fact that they would just put these big creators on a pedestal, they would idolize them, they put them as some gods. And I wonder, like, why don't I just DM these people just to kind of challenge myself on just the way how I would react to things when they leave me on red, when they say something shit about me, or when they make some stupid post about like, oh yeah, this guy's trying to offer me his services. Like, because you often see their posts, like they often talk so much shit about like these guys, like asking questions and stuff like that, which it's okay. I sometimes could be like that way too. But at the same time, like, I wonder, like, just keep just so just stop putting them on a pedestal, stop idolizing them, stop like just being so scared to just DM them. And that's the biggest thing that I always want to do. It's just like when you actually want to, like, for a lot of guys watching this, like, it's basically like how you actually want to text or like you want to approach that girl that you have a lot of interest in, right? Like, if you really have a lot of interest that you really want to reach out to her, then talk to her, right? If you don't, then just look away or just don't see her, And that's the same way how I approach in this space of Twitter. That, if there's someone that I'm really interested in, or if there's someone who I love to pitch my services with, then I'd have to just DM them without like even the balls to DM that person, right? And so that's what you really have to do when it comes to getting into this whole game of entrepreneurship, because it all comes down with so many DMs, and with so many DMs, there's chances you're gonna be getting like the income like right away. So that's why at the same time, like, what I normally do, I normally DM like 30 people, 40 people, 50 people, and the more DMs, the more chances you're gonna be able to get as much, that sale, right? More DMs, more sales. And that's what I've been thinking about a lot. It's just even DMing big creators, because those guys have so much purchasing power, right? And I know that's the biggest fear that I always have, is just putting them on a pedestal, putting them on a pedestal, putting them on a pedestal. And just like, I often fantasize, like, I want to meet with them at some point and like hit them up with a cigar, or like, you know, meet them up in Bali, or like in Thailand, or like in Dubai, or whatever it is. And like I always have like these weird fantasies, like I'd probably hang out with these people like in those places, or like do some sort of meetup with them. But I realized, like, what the fuck? Why am I thinking about these guys so much? If like like honestly, like the thing I really need to do is actually put myself on a pedestal. I need to put myself above every fucking person, than like anybody in the space, rather than putting them on a pedestal. It just, like, you gotta kind of make yourself stand out. You need to make yourself, like, you need to be more confident in yourself than anybody like in your niche, or anybody in your space, because that's what's gonna make you feel more unstoppable. Like I recently DM'd one guy who I didn't really, well, I guess I might have put him on a pedestal, but for some reason I DM'd him, and he was kind of like, I might have triggered him, I might have pissed him off, but I'm like, hey, whatever, man, like just move on, keep going. So like I DM'd one guy that I find a lot of interest in, because I was actually interested in like some of his stuff. I wasn't gonna buy his stuff, but like I was interested in his stuff, but at the same time, like I kind of said something that I had a negative perception of, and it might have pissed him off. And he was like, oh, like he was just asking me like, hey, it's not my fault and this and that, and I wasn't meaning to say that to him, because you know how my speaking, my writing is just like really off. But I kind of said something that might have offended him. But I'm like, okay, whatever, let's just, and to myself, I'm like, okay, whatever, let's just move on, get over it, talk to another guy, DM another guy, DM another big creator. So that's what you gotta do, and that's what I always have to keep doing every single time, is like DM every fucking person like you really know, or that you have like that's really suited to your own ICP, or like that you really want to build a connection with, even if he's like in a bigger social hierarchy, like in, you know, higher follower count than you. Just DM them, and even if it really pisses them off, or even if they have to say something shit about you, like just get over it, just move on, because at some point, like these guys, like honestly, like it's not that they're gonna remember you, but like at some point, like when you rise to the ranks, or once you rise to the top, like at some point, like they're just gonna look up to you, and they're just gonna they're just gonna be like, oh man, like this guy's an idiot, or like this guy's this guy's that. So just do it, and just DM them as soon as possible. Just DM like any fucking person that you often look up to, and just to kind of get the balls of doing it, and just get used to it, man. Just get used to the hate, get used to people hating on you, like get used to even big creators like talking shit about you, even though I doubt they will. But just get used to it, because that's a challenge that you have to set yourself in. That's a challenge that I have to set myself, is to just do as much DMs, you know, give them samples. If you're doing like ghostwriting, if you're doing graphic design, or if you're doing web design, like just give them a sample, or like just give them samples, give them free work, give them samples. And also like spend some time with them, and if it pisses them off, get over it, dude. Like just move on, if you leave on red, just move on, right? I know like their time is so valuable, but just move on, just keep on going. And that's what you have to do, that's what I also have to do as well. And yeah, I mean, don't get frustrated, because this happens to a lot of people that you often look up to, these big creators you often look up to. They would have to consciously DM big creators in the beginning, in the start of their journey. They have to DM big creators at some point in their lives, even if they would put them on a pedestal, even if they idolize them, right? So you got to put yourself on a pedestal, you got to put yourself on the big leagues, you got to position yourself as part of the big leagues, you have to position yourself and put yourself on a pedestal, then like amongst everybody in the crowd. And this one really makes you confident, think in the long run that you're gonna like be the best in your niche, that you are the best, that you are really good at what you do. And yeah, I mean, that's really it. Like, you just got to be more unstoppable in your niche. Be confident, say that you're gonna destroy all these people, you're gonna dominate all of these people, because that's really gonna make you stand out. That's really gonna make you become the best at what you do. And that's all I gotta say to myself. This is why, you know, I had these thoughts about this, because that's the biggest limiting belief. That's just the thing that's really been constraining me, is that I've been putting everybody else on a pedestal. Like even the high school kids, even the people on Twitter, even like the celebrities I look up to, even the role models I look up to, even the people that I used to watch on YouTube, I would put everybody else on a pedestal. And why don't I just put myself on a pedestal than all these people? Why don't I make myself be the top amongst everybody else? Fuck them all, right? So I need to put myself on top than like every fucking person you often look up to. So you just have to just get used to it. Get used to people fucking hating on you. Get used to big creators hating on us. It's fine. Get the fuck over it. At some point, they're gonna wish that they're us. People will hate you. That's okay. Get the fuck over it. That's it, okay? That's really it, right? So grow the fuck up. You're not in high school. This isn't like the whole popularity game. This isn't whole like, oh yeah, what university you go to, what. Like, shut the fuck up. Get your shit together. Just talk to them. Don't be a pussy. Just talk to them, okay? Just talk to them, okay? That is actually it. I really hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to join my newsletter. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.